welcome to another project. Today I have some photographs of my sister's children that I wanted to be able to give to her, but I don't want to just hand her some pictures. So I decided that I would make a little, like a, I don't even know what you would call it, but it's just a little, it's a little micro mini, I guess. It's not really a micro mini because it's not small, but there's only one page signature, so it's really just a card with extra pages. So this is it. This is the finished project. It opens like this, and you have envelopes for your pages, and then you have a front cover. Okay, now I have made, this is probably one of my most favorite ways to create a mini album. I love using the envelope page system, and using pre-made envelopes for this project made it super simple. So I'm going to show you how to do it with the pre-made envelopes. You can make your own. I also would like to let you know that this is not my original design. I do have other videos using this on my channel, and you can scroll down and find them. And on one of them, I know at least one of them, I put the person who made this video, who I saw do this on YouTube, but I cannot at this point remember her name. I want to say that her name was Cassie, but I'm not 100% sure. But if you scroll down, you'll find my other videos where I put this together, and then you can see how I put this together. So I'm not going to show you how to put it together. To put the page thing together. I'm going to show you how to create the whole everything else. I already have the envelopes put together, and it's quite simple. And like I said, if you don't know how to do that, then go ahead and just scroll down on my videos and you'll find it. I'll try to remember to post a link and post a link there too. But you just put them together like this, and then we create the cover for them. Now, what you need to do is you need to take your pictures and determine what size you want, what size envelopes you need to make these. My pictures are 3.5 by 5, and I did mat them because I didn't really like the photo paper. So they are matted, and they end up being 3 3/8 by 5 1/8. So I just picked an envelope that gave me enough room. You can see it all the way around here. I have probably 3/8 of an inch border all the way around, so that gives me a good space for my photos. Okay, so once you have your envelopes together, it's 3 envelopes, then you're going to go ahead and grab a piece of paper, 8.5 by 11 paper, and put it in your scoreboard, and we're going to make some score marks. So we're going to score it at 1/2 inch. And then we're going to score it at 4 3/4. We're going to score it at 5, 5 1/2, 6, 6 1/4, and 10 1/2. Okay? So I'm going to go over those one more time. 1/2 inch. 4 3/4, 5, 5 1/2, 6, 6 1/4, and 10 1/2. Okay? Now, if you do not have a lot of photographs, I have a lot of photographs to include in here. So when I made this book, it became way too bulky, so I decided that I needed a gusset. If you do not need a gusset, and if you want this flap, this album is not going to have this flap, okay? But if you don't need a gusset, if you have a nice thin, just a few pictures to give out, then what you're going to do is you're going to trim yours or score yours at the length of your, the width of your envelope. So for mine, it would be 4 1/4, and then 1/2 inch over from that, which would be 4 3/4, 1/2 inch from that, which would be 5 1/4, and then all the way over to 9.5. Okay? And then at the 9.5 inch mark, you're going to score at 1/8 inch 3 times. So score at 9 and 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, and 6/8, which is also 9 3/4. Just what that will do is it'll create, you can see here I have all those 1/8 score marks, and what that does is it helps the cover to wrap around the front of the book as you get bigger and bigger, okay? Anyways, so if you're doing it just like I did it with a gusset, now you've made all your score marks for this one. I'm going to give them to you one more time just because I've given you a lot of numbers. So to make yours like mine with a gusset, you're going to score it at 1/2 inch, 4 3/4, 5, 5.5, 6, 6 1/4, and 10.5, okay? Then we're going to score it around, and now this is the same for both sides. And now you're going to score it at the length of your book, which is 5 3/4. Okay? It's quite simple, just like that. And now what this does is this is going to give us a pocket on the front and the back, or the front and the back of the book. If you do not want a pocket, then just make your cut there. Okay? So, now we grab our scissors, and we're going to cut up, right up this middle line here. Okay? Just like that. Okay, and then we're going to cut down this, yes, let's cut down this line. If you don't want to cut, you could fold it and adhere it down, but I'm just going to cut mine off. Okay, and then only cut to the score mark because you want this 1/2 inch on there. That's the whole reason we put it there. Now we have a 1/2 inch tab there. Now we're going to come over here and we're going to, I'm just going to remove a little bit of this because we don't want this all there. Okay. And same thing here, I'm just going to remove a little bit up there. And then we just trimmed a little bit of it off. And I'm just going to cut that up like that. And cut this down like that. So that's what we have now. We have a tab for this pocket and a tab for this pocket. Then we're going to come over here and cut in that score mark and then cut in there and there. Okay? Then on this side we're going to do the same thing that we just did on the other side. We're just going to remove this 1/2 inch all the way down to this score mark. Okay? Put this on there like that, and this on there like that. And this is what we're left with. Okay? Quite simple so far. Okay. Now here's where it gets just a little bit complicated. What you want to do is you're going to pinch in to the center, the middle 1/2 inch. So you're folding it directly in half, but you want to bring this part inside. So this is the inside of the book. Okay? Just like that. Now I'm going to hold those together. This is how I do it. You can fold yours however you want, but I like to hold them together, pinch it together, and then kind of just work the sides. Okay? Kind of like that. So now we have our hinge which is not adhered down yet. It's not adhered together, but this is what it looks like from the back. Okay. Then we're going to fold on. We're just adding our gusset now. So you just fold on that next fold mark. And then the last one. I know it seems complicated, but once you get the hang of it, it's going to be pretty easy. Okay, so now when you open it up, you're going to pinch those together, and it's going to come together just like that, and you're going to have a spine when it closes. So that's what you're going to have when your book comes together. And what this does is it's going to create space for the pages to expand, but also space for you to put stuff in your pockets. Okay? So what we're going to do now is we're going to take and trim off just a little bit of your hinge. Don't go past the 1/2 inch score marks though, okay? Just trim a little. Here you go. You can see that it's not straight there, but then this part is straight. Can you see the score mark there? Okay. Do that on both ends. Then turn it over. What that does is allows you to slip on your envelopes a little bit better. We're going to put adhesive on we're on the outside now. And we're just going to run adhesive on the 2 1/2 inch things in the center. Okay? Don't go over the score mark. Can you see where my adhesive is there? And then pinch them together. Okay? So now you have that. Okay? You can see your hinge in the middle there. And you have space on both sides. Okay? Next, you're going to fold up your hinges for your pockets. Okay? And I like to pull these ones, I like to pull them really far inward so that they're not going to interfere with my spine. Okay, now I've got both of those up, then I'm going to fold them up, fold them up, lots of pressure to burnish them, and now you can see how your book is really coming along. Okay, so we're going to apply our adhesive to those. And fold them up. Just try to make sure that it doesn't go over your score marks as best you can. Then it won't interfere with the folding of your book or your card or whatever you want to call this. Okay. And then what I like to do is I'm going to take a strip. I just don't like the way this looks, and plus to me it feels really, it moves too much, so like it comes out and goes in, and I want to just stiffen it up just a tiny bit. So I'm going to take a piece of cardstock that I had laying around, and I'm going to cut it to 5 3/4, which is the length of my book, the height of my book. And I'm going to cut it to slightly under a 1/2 inch because I know that my spine there is a 1/2 inch. Okay. So now I have this little piece here, and this should fit right on there perfectly. I'm just going to adhere that because I like the way that it looks a little bit better. Okay. And because I'm not going to cover my book with pattern paper, I'm going to leave it quite plain. Well, I'm going to decorate it, but I'm not going to put a lot of pattern paper on it, so I know that I want to do this part. So I'm just going to stick that on there, like so. If you have issues with sticking it, then just open your book flat, move your hinge to one side and then the other side, and just adhere it down. Oh, why don't you want to stick? There we go. A little pressure and it's stuck. Okay. And then for some odd reason, a little bit of it hangs off, and I don't like that, so I'm just gonna trim mine up a little bit, which kind of ruined it even more. Oh well. Okay. Just even it out. There we go. Now we have our book. So now you have pockets here, and the last little step is to take your envelope here, and now what you want to do is you only want to adhere one side. Normally when you have a hinge like this, you adhere both sides, but if you do that, you will lose space in your envelope, in your pocket, and it won't be able to, you'll lose a ½ inch inside your envelope. So you don't want to do that. Just stick adhesive on one side of it and let it be this time. Okay? Then slip your envelopes over it, adhere it down, and then you have your book. Okay, so then for the next step, what I've done is I've taken my pictures, and because my envelope is it's a lot bigger than my pictures, so if I just took the pictures and put them in there, they'd kind of get lost. So what I've done is I created a little folder, and I just stick the folder inside there, and then I can just reach in, pull out the folder, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my Stampin' Up! Punch. I'm going to take a piece of scrap paper. 1, 2, 3. Cut out 3 of those because I have 3 pages and 3 folders. I'm going to fold it in half like that. And now if you have this flap on here, you can't do this part, okay? So don't do this part if you have the flap, because then it's going to make your pages bigger. But because I didn't put the flap on this one, I can easily do it, and then they'll just hang over the edge. Okay, so I'm going to take my card, and I just want to put this on the back side of it. I'm going to put my hinge, or my file tab, right there, stick it on there, and then I've got a little file folder, a little folder, stick it in there, and then I've got this sticker, or this page, or clearly I can't use words, I've got this photo for the first page, so I'm going to put that there. Then I'm going to turn the page, and I've got this photo, which is my nephew, for that page. And I've got his other photos here. I'm going to fold this up. Okay. Put adhesive along the edges. And then a line in the center. And then for this one now, I'm going to put this one in the center, because he's in the middle page. There we go. Then I'm going to put that right in there. And then I'm going to take my last page I'm going to stick this on here. Now, one thing that you want to keep in mind is if you're going to cover this page, you don't want to put any adhesive on this portion. I'm not going to cover the page, I'm just going to stick the picture on there, but I still don't want to put any adhesive past where the envelope opens, because if I do that, then I will interfere with how this is going to fit in there. Okay, so we've got my third niece. I actually have another niece. My sister has another daughter, but she really wasn't feeling taking pictures, so I didn't take any pictures of her this day. She's much older than these three. Okay? And then I'm going to take and put this one on the bottom. Then I'll be writing their names on the tag. Then I'm just going to stick the pictures inside the folder and stick. Now you can see how it's going in there? If I put adhesive over there, it wouldn't work. So for that one, I'm just going to put adhesive there. Okay? And now you can also see with just those pictures how much bigger my book is getting. Okay? So the last thing that I'm going to do is I have these photos of them together. And I'm going to take 3 of them and stick them in... Oh, no, wait, I'm not doing that. Yes, I am. I'm going to take 3 of them and stick them in the back pocket. And then the other 3 are going to go on the back side of there. So they're going to go just like that, and now my book is getting to be kind of a book, but it's okay. I'm still happy with it. It's still thin enough that I'm good with it. One thing that I would say if you wanted to do, and I think I might do it, is to cut, because you're just using a piece of paper for the cover. If you want to make it sturdier, because the inside is going to be pretty sturdy, I would cut another piece of paper to the size and stick it on there. And it just so happens that I already have one because I tried to make this book already. Especially if you're going to cover it with pattern paper, then don't do this step, because that's going to add enough to it as it is. But what this will do is just sturdy up your cover, and that will be good. Okay. So then we've got those there. I want to go ahead and stick those on, but I want to put some sort of way to close this, to keep it closed. So I think I'm going to put some ribbon. I'm going to tape some ribbon here. No, I'm going to tape some ribbon here, I think, maybe. I don't want to mess with my file folder, so I think I'm going to go around here. I'm going to do some seam binding, I believe. And I'm going to do this cream colored one. I think that's good. So I need 2 pieces like that. Okay. Then I'm just going to run a or a strip of adhesive there, because the sandwich of the two papers that I'm putting on here will also help to hold it together, or help to hold the adhesive, so it's okay if I'm just using this adhesive to hold a piece of ribbon on there. Okay. Then, if I wasn't putting this in between stuff, I would definitely use a little more adhesive than that. I'm not loving this ribbon idea. I'm not loving that at all. You know what I'm going to think I'm going to do? I'm going to change it up. I'm going to take this off. Okay. And then I'm going to run a strip of ribbon there and there. I'm going to take this ribbon, put it there, and this ribbon, sorry, this is not ribbon, this is seam binding, put it there. That's on the back side. Bring it around to the front, and yes, I like that much better. Okay, so that's what I'm going to go with. So first, I'm going to turn it over. We're going to cover the back. And now you don't need to do this stuff if you don't want to, especially if you're using a thinner book. I just decided that mine needs a little bit more just a little more sturdiness to it, and I think that this will add to that. Okay, untie that, and then yes, now it is much sturdier, much better, and where you adhered the ribbons is kind of hidden, so it looks kind of nice. Okay, we're going to take our front one, put this on the front, and then normally I'd add like a bunch of flowers and make it really pretty, but because my nephew is in there too, I don't want to make it too girly. Plus, my sister's not really into the whole frilly decorated scrapbook. So, for her, I'm just going to go ahead and keep it a little bit plainer, but I am going to put some stuff on it. So I'm going to take a doily, and I'm going to put that right there because the doilies dress everything up. And I like that a lot. That looks pretty. The only thing I'm not happy with now is the doily is white and my seam binding is cream. So, to rectify that, I think I'm just going to leave it actually, because I really don't think that my sister's going to judge it and care. So I'm going to leave it. Doesn't bother me too much, I guess. Okay. So that's what I've got. Now I'm going to go ahead and I want to put adhesive all over this circle. And I think I'm even going to put, because I don't have very much on the back of this, I'm just going to go ahead and put some on the back so that I know it's going to be covered and not worry about the front. And then I'm just going to kind of center this here, but I have more on the front than I do on the back, okay? There we go. And I didn't put any on the white part because I want that, I like the look of that popping up a little bit. Okay, and then I'm just going to adhere that down like that. And now I do have some stickiness coming through because I did put adhesive on there. So what I have here, I have, this is my own, it's a homemade version of the embossing buddy, I guess it's called. And I'm just going to rub that on there, and what that's going to do is put a little powder all over the, no, it's not sticky at all. Just puts a little powder over the stickiness, and then you can't even see it. Okay, and then I have this die cut, which I'm sorry you won't be able to read very well because it's very glittery, but I cut it out of gold glitter, and it's a very delicate die cut. I cut it, it's a Heidi Swap die cut that I got at Joann's. Oh, let's get it out of here, come on. There we go. Just cut out the extra parts here. I've used it so many times. I love it. Usually I'll die cut it a couple of times and adhere it to adhere it together like this so that it looks it's a little thicker and looks like chipboard. But I think for this, I really just want, no, I want it stuck down. I like the delicateness of it. I like the sentiment, and I like that it's in gold, and I'm just going to put it right like that. Actually, I kind of like it. I'm going to go ahead and use this Ranger Multimedia Matte. I just got this and I love it. The only thing that I didn't get a fine tip applicator. So I just have to be careful, but that's okay because even if some of this does squeeze out, it barely shows once it's dry. Just gonna put little dabs of it all around it. Okay. And then just place it down like so. I did get a little bit of it over, but that's okay. Just wipe it away and it won't show up when it's done. I guess I didn't put any on here, so didn't stick down. There we go. Just hold it for a second and let it do its thing, and that is lovely. Okay, so we have created a little book. The last thing that I'm going to do then is I have these little heart things I want to stick on here, and maybe some sequins, I don't know, we'll see. But I'm going to put some of these on. because I love them. Just stick a few of them just for a little tiny bit of color on the front of the... Oh, they stick good too. Put one more up here. There we go. Some sequins on there would also look nice, but I think I'm gonna be good with those, just like that. Okay. And so now all I have left to do is adhere down the pictures, and I won't make you watch me do that. I already showed you how I'm going to put them in there. And that is that. Then we bring these up. We tie them up. I also forgot to mention that when I used seam binding, a lot of times I will put a little line of of glossy accents along the edge here, because you can't burn it, it will show, and it doesn't really melt anyways, but you don't want it to, I don't want it to fray or anything, so I'll just put a little bit of glossy accents along there to keep it from fraying. And there we have a lovely little book. I hope you enjoyed this project. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. I'd love to hear from you. Bye-bye now.